Start now. Okay, so are you people able to see the screen now?
Ma'am.
Okay, so today we have to start from osmosis. Okay, so we are done with diffusion. So today what we have to start? Osmosis. Now what is osmosis? We know that osmosis happens.
Ma'am, can I tell?
Yes, Mepsam, say it again.
Ma'am, it is the transfer of water molecules across down the concentration gradient through a partially permeable membrane.
Good. So it happens when water molecules moves from a dilute solution. Now, what is a dilute solution? A dilute solution
Ma'am,
is something, yes, Ma'am Sam, you can tell.
ma'am, in which the concentration of solvent, which in most cases it's water, when the concentration of water is greater.
Yes, good. So a dilute solution is that which has high water concentration. So osmosis happens when water moves from a dilute solution to a concentrated solution. Now, what's a concentrated solution?
Ma'am, when the concentration of the solute is greater.
So it's actually low water concentration, right? And that is done through a partially
Partially
permeable,
permeable.
partially permeable membrane. Good. Now, what is partially permeable membrane?
Ma'am,
Anyone,
ma'am,
Numan, could you tell me? Yes, Ms. Sam, good. Yes, Numan. Numan, could you hear me?
I think so. Yes, ma'am. I think so. Partially permeable membrane is a membrane
Hmm.
that allows some particle to move inside the cell, not to all.
Very good, Numan. That's very good. It actually allows, for example, if we talk about water, so it allows water molecules to pass, but not the large dissolved substances, right? We can have a look at this image. Now see, you can see here we have some sugar molecules as well, right? And these small molecules are of water. So this is a partially permeable membrane. So you can see that water molecules can pass through this membrane, but the sugar molecules, which are larger in size, they cannot pass, right? So what happens? The movement is from where to where? The movement is from a dilute solution where the concentration of water is high, to a concentrated solution where the concentration of water is low, right? You see that the movement of water, here we have large concentration of water molecules, so they move towards an area of low concentration of water molecules. Is that clear? Okay, Mipsam, is that clear?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we know that in case if we talk about the cells, animal cell or plant cells, so actually the cytoplasm and the vacuoles. In cells, they have some dissolved substances, right? And due to those dissolved substances, they lower the concentration of free water molecules inside the cell compared to pure water. Let's see that in example of animal cell. Okay, now see, suppose we take an animal cell. We have an animal cell here in this was our animal cell, right? We took an animal cell and we placed it in, we have placed this in pure water. Let me have a look who's in the class. Thought Fahad has joined. Okay, now say, suppose in this example, here, the outside of this animal cell, we have 100% what? We have 100% water molecules because it was a pure water, right? Outside this animal cell, we had pure water. So we can say that we have 100% water molecules and no dissolved substances. So we can say that the water potential outside is higher than inside the cell. Could you tell me what is water potential? Yes, Mabsam and Numan. Numan or Mipsam, do you know what is water potential?
And
Yes,
and
Mipsam.
is it like the tendency of water to move from a higher concentration uh, area to a lower concentration area?
Yes. So we can say that the water potential, let me write it down over here, that water always, it moves from a region of higher water potential to a region of low water potential, right? So actually this water molecules tells you the tendency of water molecule to leave a solution. It's you can say it's a measure of how likely water is to move from one place to another, right? Okay, now in this case, in animal cell that we were discussing, Now, what will happen that we know that the water molecules that are in greater concentration outside the animal cell, what's going to happen in this case, that slowly these water molecules will start, right? It will start going inside the cell through the process of, that is osmosis, right? Is that clear? Now, what's going to happen in this case? Now, if too much of water has entered into the animal cell, for example, we have a lot of H2O gathered inside this animal cell. Now, what is the risk to this cell? What could
And it
happen?
can burst.
Very good. First, it's going to get swell up. It will swell first, and then eventually there's a chance that it will burst. That is, if too much water enters, right? Now, what happens in other case? Suppose we believe that the cell, if the cell is in stronger solution, suppose that solution is a salty water, right? And now I'm going to take another beaker here. And then I'm going to take a animal cell again. Now, I know that the water or the solution is salty water, right? Now, that means this animal cell contains more water molecules as compared to the solution that is outside. In this case, what is going to happen? Then the water molecules will start leaving the cell, right? And eventually there will be a time when, due to too much water loss, the cell will become
The cell,
shrink.
the cell, yes.
Yes, that is because of water loss that happened because of osmosis. Is that clear, Numan?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, now that is just for your information that in vertebrates, the brain and the kidneys, they are responsible for controlling, they control the concentration of body fluids. That is done to protect the cells. To protect the cells from what? From shrinking down or to burst, right?
Ma'am,
Yes, Mipsam.
ma'am, ma'am, is this controlled by pituitary gland?
Your question is that is the control of the concentration of body fluids controlled by the pituitary gland?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Actually, yeah, you can say that it is controlled by the pituitary gland, and specifically, there's a hormone that does that. Could you name that hormone? That's the ADH.
ADH,
Yes, antidiuretic hormone. That is what controls it. That is also called as vasopressin. Okay. Now we have to see what happens in plant cell. Now see, in plant cells, we know, suppose this is how a plant cell looks like, right? We have a double membrane. One is here we have the large central vacuole, then we have nucleus and many other organelles as well. So we know that the cytoplasm and the vacuole plus vacuole. So they contain dissolved substances. What are those dissolved substances? Those could be either minerals, right? It could be sugars, and we can have proteins as well. So these are the dissolved substances that are present in the cytoplasm and vacuole. So suppose if this water, suppose this plant cell was surrounded by a dilute solution. Now, what does that mean? Again, dilute solution that contains high concentration of water molecules, right? Now, what happens when it is surrounded by a dilute solution? That means that water starts entering into the plant cell. Numan, are you getting
Yes,
this
ma'am.
or not?
Yes, ma'am, I am getting this.
Okay. So water, as this was surrounded by a dilute solution, so water will start entering into the cell, right? Now what's going to happen as this water will enter into this vacuole? So eventually the vacuole will start. I'm only going to, okay, let me draw the cell again. Suppose in this case, due to abundance of water molecules inside the vacuole, you're going to see that as this vacuole is going to have high concentration of water molecules, so it will become, this vacuole will swell, right? And then it's going to push the cytoplasm because now it has increased in size. Due to increase in size, it is going to push the cytoplasm against the cell wall, right? It will start becoming looking like this.
It will become
Because,
tertiary.
yeah, due to immense abundance of water, it's going to push the cytoplasm against the water, against the cell wall, right? And we can call that this plant cell has become turgid. What is turgid? Turgid actually means to become firm, right? Now the cell wall, we know the cell wall is there for an extra protection. So actually the cell wall is there to, you can say, this cell wall that is present over here is, it prevents bursting, right? And that is done so the cell doesn't swell too much. Okay. Okay, so there are actually three kinds of water movements in plant cell. right? What kind of movements do we have? The first one is that the water, it moves from the outside into the cytoplasm.
Ma'am, is the first one a hypotonic solution?
Yeah, I'm going to explain you that. The second one is that water moves from the cytoplasm into the vacuole. And the third one is the water makes the cell turgid. This is actually how the water enters into the plant cell. First, the water moves from the outside to the cytoplasm, and from the cytoplasm into the vacuole, and then it's going to make it turgid. For example, this was the outer environment from here to the cytoplasm, from cytoplasm to the vacuole, and then it's going to make it turgid, right? Now we have to see about the turgor pressure. Right? Now, what's turgor pressure? Could you give me an example of it? It's just like blowing air into a bicycle tire, right? Suppose you have more water in the vacuum, right? So if there's more water in the vacuole, it means there is more pressure against the cell wall, right? Is that clear? This is just what we have studied before, right? And there's a very significance of this turgor pressure as well. Could you tell me? Yes, Mepsam or Numan. Could you tell me the significance of turgor pressure?
Ma'am, ma'am, does
Yes,
it like keep the ma'am, does it like keep the plants stable or
good.
like uh, yes.
Yes. Actually, turgor keeps stems and leaves firm and upright, right? Because we know that plants don't have a skeleton to keep them firm and upright. So actually, it is the turgor pressure that helps them to maintain their shape in the upright position. Suppose if you have a, and if the plant cell it lose water, right? If the plant cell lose water, so we can say that due to losing water, its turgor pressure drops. Suppose, let me make again a plant cell. Uh, this is a plant cell. Here we have the cell wall, oh sorry, vacuum. So as the turgor pressure has reduced, so now you can see there is no actual a very good you can say pressure on the walls of this plant cell, right? So you can say now the plant cell has become flaccid, right? Okay. This happens in which kind of solution?
Ma'am, in a hypertonic solution.
In a hypertonic solution,
Yes, the plant becomes flaccid.
the plant cell becomes flaccid in the hypertonic solution.
Hyper, Hyper, not
Yeah,
hypo.
yeah,
Yes.
but isn't it the case of in hypertonic solution? Doesn't the plant cell become plasmolized?
And what is plasma?
Uh, Plasmolized. Okay, let me tell you. I'm going to make another image. Suppose actually the plasmolysis is a process where the plant cells they lose water through osmosis, right? And that will cause the cell membrane to pull away from the cell wall. Um, just give me a minute. I believe I can show you an image for that.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, so let's say that we placed a plant cell into a sugary solution. Now all of the water from the plant cell exits the cell, all of the water, and now it's flaccid. Then, so that does that mean that when the cell membrane pulls itself, it shrinks? Does that mean that this sugary solution will enter the cell now because cell wall is permeable? It's fully permeable, the cell wall.
Uh, Let me explain this, Mipsam. I believe you will understand it. See, in hypertonic solution, you see that is what I told you, that the cell has lost enough water that now the cell membrane is has moved away from the cell wall, right? It was the hypertonic solution. Now what was hypertonic solution? In which the outer solution was having higher concentration of solutes and lesser concentration of water molecules, right? So what happened in this case, that a lot of water from this plant cell escaped the plant cell, right?
Yes, hyper
In isotonic solution, the movement of water
equal.
is equal, right? So we call it flaccid because it is not like the turgid one. The turgid was very firm, right? So you can say in case of flaccid, uh, uh, the plant, the cell has become, you can say it's soft and weak plant cell. Or you can say when you have put it into a lightly concentrated solution, right? That is the case. While the turgid one is that when you have more water molecules outside the plant cell, is that so?
And in hypotonic, there are this outside solution is dilute.
Yes, it's dilute. So it means that they have more water molecules outside the solution. So they start entering into this plant cell and helps the plant cell to become turgid and firm, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Fahad, when did you join? Okay.